Thank you for joining me for another Quick Hits conversation. I'm Dr. Robyn. I'm known as the Mental MacGyver. My doctorate is in organizational business psychology with a concentration in sport and performance. And I provide luxury level high performance support and coaching to executives, founders, celebrities, and athletes. With me today, I have Pascal Derrien. He's the CEO of the nonprofit Migraine Ireland. He is also an avid athlete. I have Hendry. He is the owner of Elevated Elements, where he helps businesses upgrade their lighting correctly the first time to reduce their electrical bill and get the best ROI. And I have Iorio. He does team building and is a cultural assessment consultant, TV host at RVN TV, and a go-giver. The question I have today: what are the most important skills someone needs to succeed in the business world? Mark, kick us off.
I've thought a lot about this question, and I think it has to be being resourceful, understanding how you can connect the dots with problems that come up every day when you're running a business, or you're part of a business, or you're an employee at a business. In order to be successful, you've got to be able to connect the dots and change the outcome of problems that crop up every day, because they crop up every single day. And in order to solve some of those problems, it's got to be that, I think.
Can you say a little bit about how someone would become resourceful?
It's an innate skill, honestly, but you have to be open-minded enough to take on new ideas, new ways of solving problems, and rather than shut people down or shut ideas down or shut thoughts down about a problem that might exist and a solution for the problem, you have to be really open about it and think about ways to solve an issue.
Yeah, the word, when you're speaking, Mark, the word that came to me is creative. Not having that child creativity suppressed like we actually grow into as adults. So being able to think within the box, but also look and think outside the box, and using some things or ideas that may not be in a traditional fashion, and using them in other ways. One of the things for me, I believe, is mindset. And I think it ties into what you're saying as well, Mark. There's many facets to the mindset. One is being resilient with what people think of you, whether that's people you don't know or family and friends, how you take and how you're able to take no's or rejection, being able to move forward from those moments.
Suppose when I started first in kind of execution mode, and I say, oh yeah, surely it's actually a communications and all these type of things, and I say, well, hang on a minute, let's step back a bit. So I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, well, having the intent, it's a skill, I suppose, or it's maybe an attribute or an attitude, and a bit of a mindset as well, as Ian was mentioning. Having an intent, because I often find that when there's intent, there's success. Now, that's a very simplified version of the process of the journey of any entrepreneur. But however, if you feel really strong about what you are trying to do or solve, more than likely you're going to find a solution. Maybe not the first time around, but maybe the second time around or the third time around. So intent is pretty important. And as the two guys know, in non-for-profit, so being intentional is pretty key. But I think in business as well, but probably I would say in certain areas, the mindset is probably good. Is it a skill or you were born with it? I don't know, actually. I'd like to think you're probably born with it. Can you acquire it? I don't know.
So let's talk about, Pascal, what you just said. Are they skills that are acquirable, or are they something you have to be born with?
I think you have a propensity to want to connect. And what Pascal was saying earlier is about passion and intent and purpose. I think that is in you. That is who you are. That's your personal constitution and what you believe in. So you find things that you're passionate about and you go after that. I think that's innate. I think that being resilient and resourceful, I think, can be taught. That is a matter of passion and purpose as well. I mean, you cannot just say, listen, you've got to be a little bit more resilient, or you got to be a little bit more passionate, or you have to be a little bit more resourceful. It has to be that you're doing it because you're growing. There's a benefit there to you and your organization. And if you don't feel that way, then you're probably either in the wrong organization, or you need to find something that you are passionate about.
To tie that is believing in what you are passionate about in the context of what you're working around and how it's going to help people. I mean, I can build something or create something, and it may not be very, very beneficial to anybody or the world or whatever that is. But if I believe and I'm passionate about what it is I've created, that it can help everybody and anybody, and I'm going to keep doing this until it takes and the world grabs a hold of it. I mean, that's pretty powerful, and I think that's what helps us drive forward even through those crappy times and the rough spots.
Are you born with that?
I think experiences can shape
Mm,
how you get there. So I suppose the bad news is when I was 20, I probably didn't know as much as I know now. So, and that's a reality.
yeah.
And I probably have acquired some skills. I've been managing team when I was age 19. I'm 55, so I know a bit more. I had no clue what I was doing, but I had to acquire. So it's a bit of a growth mindset as well to a certain degree. And
Right.
I think one of the skills in order to be successful is to be prepared to accept that you may not know as much as you think you do. So it's a bit of humility. Can you acquire humility?
Yeah.
Maybe the hard way, or is it you born with it? I'm not too sure. Again, I think it's a complex value prop when it comes to individual and skill. Because skill, I see it as a tool. Really, and that's something you may acquire. If you're a coder, I don't have coding skills, and I will probably don't have any coding skills because I have zero interest in it. So I think the skills versus the interest to learn is also an interesting avenue for me.
I think curiosity has to play a role in there too. And I think to your point, I think Ian, you said it, we kind of train curiosity and creativity out of children in school. And I think when you get into the work world, especially if you're an entrepreneur, that curiosity, that creativity, that willingness to say, I don't know, but let's try some stuff and see what happens is important too.
Absolutely. Going to what you were asking, are you born with it? I think it's instilled in you through the experiences of your life. There are things that suppress you, and then there's things that make you grow and flourish. And I think those ones that help you grow and flourish kind of build up more of the want to do more and be more. However, I think those experiences that suppress you are where it drives your why of helping others. Right?
The thing that people say to me very often, and I think we've heard it here, is the resilience, the willingness to say, I can do this. And I think part of that is the willingness to say, I don't care what other people think. How much of that is a relevant aspect to success in business?
I think it's super important. Pressure points. If you can be immune from pressure points, but I think it's an acquired knowledge or that's an experience being acquired. Yeah, the opportunity or the ability to say no. I probably don't say, hi, if you ask me to jump, that's probably not going to be me. But I think you acquire that. But it depends of what's your experiences, what have been suppressed, your ability to have learned resilience from a young age or not. I think there's quite a lot of things that comes into play as well. But yeah, I think it's the personality, as Mark was indicating, is actually a big part of how you're shaping up. I would say at the core, I'm not so dissimilar to the early 20-year-old me. However, I probably project things in a different way now.
Mark, you look like you were about to say something.
I wish I had Pascal, I wish I had the ability to say no. One of the things that I struggle with is running a business and saying yes to so many things, and then it continues to pile up on you, and that leads to the resourcefulness that I was talking to you about earlier. But there's a point in time where there's a saturation point, and you can't do anymore. And I think I've reached that plateau at this point in my life, and I'm a little bit. I got 10 years on you, so I'm 65. So I better learn it quickly, or
not at all, right?
not at all. Exactly right.
I think we've given some really great tips as to how to be successful in business. I know for me, as I've become less of a people pleaser, I've become better at saying no in a kind way. When I was a people pleaser, when I said no, it was very aggressive. And now I can just say, I can't do that. And it works much, much better for me. So thank you for having this conversation with me, guys. And I look forward to speaking to each of you again very soon.